Welcome to another episode of Purchase to Profits. I'm Seth Ferguson. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our daily interviews with successful real estate investors. Our guest today has been building her portfolio for the past 12 years and owns 6 multifamily properties. Besides investing, she runs a successful property management and brokerage business. Ashley St Gelais is CEO of Fusion Property Management. Ashley, welcome to Purchase to Profits. It's great to have you on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk with you just because, you've been investing for about 12 years and you've built up a portfolio. So I'm sure lots of our viewers will be really interested to hear how you did it.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to share.
Yeah. So to kick things off, let's start with your real estate goals. Where do you want to go with real estate now?
Absolutely. Real estate, as I'm sure you know, and many of your viewers, has an amazing, amazing ability to impact the wealth of so many people. What's really cool about it is that you don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to, have any super specialized skill set. If you have passion and drive and dedication, you can have amazing results with real estate investing. So I get super jazzed today thinking about how I can use my expertise and skills to help other people kick it out of the ballpark with real estate as a business. And personally, I love it when people can work smarter, not harder, right? And buy and hold investing is, in my opinion, like the epitome of working smarter, not harder, right? Because you have 4 ways that it just continually works for you. When you buy the right property and align it with the right financing, it has amazing, amazing impacts over time. So I'm super excited about helping other people to gain their own real estate freedom. And the group that I run is actually called the Real Estate Freedom Realty Group. And underneath that heading, we're a one-stop shop for real estate needs. So we help people buy and sell properties, manage it profitably, and then we do education and consulting so that people can really gain the knowledge and the confidence to take steps towards their goals.
Yeah, for sure. And with your own personal portfolio, are you still in that acquisition mode? Are you still looking to get some more properties? Or are you kind of consolidating right now? What are you doing?
That's a great question. I feel like I'll always be open to the right deal. Right now, I am focusing a lot of my energy on helping my clients buy the best deals for them. So that's super exciting. This last year, I got to buy my forever home, which I'm sitting in right now, which was foreclosure number 3 that I bought, and was one of the most stressful purchases, but super, super grateful to have landed in a place where I actually don't have any neighbors. Like I have 10 acres and I don't have any other residential units like attached to my house, which is super cool because I love people, but I'm also a pretty serious introvert. Mm-hmm. So I love the power of multifamily investing and being able to live in a property and the financing that allows you to gain access to. And I'm super grateful to kind of be more alone here and have more space with my kids.
Yeah. And I guess you have deer in the backyard and all that stuff?
I haven't seen deer yet, but definitely some turkeys, and the neighbors have goats. And sometimes they come over and eat my plants and wake me up at 3 a.m. on my front porch.
Oh, you need, what's that? Does that like pepper kind of spray that you put down? Does that work?
I haven't tried to poison them yet. Maybe next year.
Next year. The evil machinations of a real estate investor. That's awesome.
Yeah, this year I would love to actually flip a property. I haven't done that yet, but I have purchased properties, renovated them, rented them back out, and then access the equity through financing. So similar model, just a different end.
Yeah, for sure. No, that would be pretty cool. We'll have to have you back on once you do that flip, and then you can tell us how it went. So with you, how did you even get started in real estate?
Yeah, great question. I guess the answer is I kind of fell into it. I'd always been intrigued about real estate because my mom is a realtor and my stepdad is now a realtor as well. He quit his job and joined her. But they had never really had a strong focus on investing as realtors. And I was actually working at a bar in the coat closet. And I was 21 and I was trying to figure out, how am I actually going to be able to retire or be financially independent in the future? And it just felt like the trading dollars for hours was going to set myself up to fail in that goal. And so I got a copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read that book in the coat closet at this bar that I'm embarrassed to say I used to work at. And it, like, literally, they always say the light bulb went off in my head. And that's when I knew that really investing in real estate was going to be a huge key to my own financial success. So from there, I bought a condo that I was going to live in forever, right? I was 21, super idealistic. It was the most expensive condo I saw. It was magical because it was on a river. It had a moat thing, super cool. I moved out 9 months later because I fell in love and ended up renting it out. And so this was on a very small scale. I had become a landlord. And although I paid money to keep it because I didn't buy it with the possibility of renting it in mind, it still was actually working because nothing was blowing up and I was able to handle what I needed to handle. And so I was excited because although I wasn't making money, which is kind of the goal, it was a stepping stone. It was a manageable stepping stone to the next property. And so from there, purchased a owner-occupied duplex with FHA financing, then purchased a single-family home with an accessory apartment that I also moved into with just 5% down. And from there, that's when we shifted from having owner-occupied financing, where you can get better rates, longer-term fixed rates with less money down, into commercial financing, where you have shorter terms. They're usually adjustable rate mortgages, and higher interest rates. So it was a big jump going from the owner-occupied to investment. So we were able to leverage the equity in the single-family home with an accessory apartment to get into that first property. And from there, just continued building with non-owner occupied.
Yeah. And what would you say made you start looking at those commercial properties rather than just your typical duplexes and all that stuff? Like, what made that shift occur?
Sure. And sorry if I didn't explain that well. So we went from buying properties that we could use conventional financing for, like borrowing in our own name, to borrowing in the name of a business and borrowing on the business side. Here in the States, conventional financing they're not really investor friendly.
No,
right?
they want 2 arms, 2 legs, your firstborn child. Yeah.
Exactly. And the rules are so strict. And if you don't fit into this little teeny tiny box that Fannie and Freddie give you, you're done. They won't lend to you. So what we had found was that as we had used up the owner-occupied financing options with lower down payments, flipping over to a commercial loan where we borrow in the name of a business and buy a multifamily, still under the 4 units. So technically
Right.
Could have been purchased on the other side. We just had gotten to a point where we weren't fitting into that box anymore.
Gotcha. No, that makes a lot of sense. And so, as you're building your portfolio and then growing your businesses on the side, do you have any routines or rituals that you do just to help you stay focused?
Yes, I certainly do. I love mantras and I love goal setting. And then I have a daily ritual where, first and foremost, I focus on getting centered, like arriving in my body and in the day, and a bit of meditation. And then I do a lot of reach out every day, because a lot of what I do, I need people to help. So sharing with people what it is my team and I do, how we can help them gain their own freedom, do a lot of that. And I actually, just a couple weeks ago, started doing a Facebook Live every day. It's called The Daily Dish with Ash. And I talk about life, real estate investing tips, and cool shit.
Yeah, no, that's it. That sounds good. It's all about just getting yourself out there, and I think you mentioned it a little bit differently. Like you're always looking for people to help, and if it's like shows like this. If you're giving away that information for free in with the intent of helping other people, that's all going to come back to you down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, out of all the deals you've done so far, is there one that stands out as a keystone deal, one that really made a big impact?
Yeah, I would say the purchase of a 4-unit in Winooski was, I'd say, a keystone deal in my investing history. The reason why this was a great opportunity for everybody involved was because it was our first partnership deal.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I have a relationship with these folks. They're actually clients on the property management side, and they're interested in growing their investing portfolio, but don't necessarily want to look for the deals, manage them. So we partnered up. So it was a great opportunity to be able to provide value for somebody else who has the money but doesn't have the time or doesn't want to deal with it. And partnering together on a deal where we have, similar long-term goals and similar values that we manage the portfolio with.
Yeah. So maybe somebody's watching this right now and they don't know how one would go about setting up a partnership, what to look for. Do you want to maybe just share some tips for entering into a partnership?
Absolutely. The most important thing that you can do to set yourself up for success is make sure that you set the partnership up in a way that's going to work legally for you and your partner. So I swear by using attorneys. Use other people and their expertise to help you get where you want to go. So, pay an attorney to make sure that legally the partnership is set up correctly. There's a very clear understanding of who is responsible for what. And I always think it's a great practice when you have one person who's making the decisions. So in this partnership, I am the decision maker. And the reason that that's helpful is because if there are 4 partners, it's the same with a condo association or anything where there are multiple people involved. Having one person who's making decisions based on the long-term goals of everybody who is involved and understanding all of the different aspects that come into the decision making can really set yourself up for success. And then also just making sure that everybody who's participating in the partnership not only feels like they're contributing and gaining in a equitable way, but also that your end goals are the same, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody is looking to invest money, but then get all their money back out in 4 years, that's not necessarily going to be a great partnership with somebody who's really in this for the next 30.
Yeah, no, that's a really important point. So with this fourplex, did the partner approach you before you even got the deal, or did you have the deal under contract and then you partnered up? How did that work?
It was a couple years ago. So if I remember correctly, I found the deal, ran all the numbers on it, and I presented it to them as an opportunity, and then negotiated and won the bid.
Gotcha. And was it did it need any renos? Like, what was your game plan going into this property?
Yeah, this was a really unique property because it has 4 units. They're all very similar, 3 bedrooms apiece, 1 bath, and all the units had been rented out for $1,000 a piece, where in this market, fair market value for those units is closer to $1,500 a month.
Oh, lots of upside. Yeah.
Yes, so huge potential to increase rents. And so it was an opportunity to purchase a property, do some minor cosmetic improvements. So we've taken out carpets, refinished hardwood floors, and done some painting and some other touch up on the property, and over time increased rent. Some of the tenants ended up moving out relatively quickly, and now the entire building has turned over.
Yeah. So was your game plan, did you go in with conventional financing then
No,
initially?
this was commercial. This is
Okay.
financing, and we purchased this property probably 3 or 4 years ago, and there was an amazing rate special at one of the local credit unions. So we actually were able to land a 15-year fixed commercial mortgage around 3.25%.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Never refinancing that one.
No. But what's your intention? Like you had a good first mortgage on there. Once you brought the rents up to market, did you think about, putting an extra second on there to pull some capital out? Like what was your game plan with that?
Yeah, that is definitely something that's an option for us. We are, always open to partnering together and finding creative ways to make it work. So yeah, commercial seconds are always a really cool way to tap that equity without having to touch the first or sell it.
For sure. And with this one, like, are you looking at holding it for like 10 years, 7 years? Like what's your idea for how long you'll keep this one?
Forever.
Forever. Well, in real estate, well, let me ask you this then. So it's cash flowing really well. You've got a really great first mortgage on there. At what point would you say, hey, I've gotten the best return I've been able to get. Now I have to sell it. Do you have any targets with like a cash on cash or internal rate of return?
Yeah, those are some good questions. I've always been in the business of buying and not selling. When it comes to a point where the property's been fully depreciated, over the 27 and a half years, at that point, I'd probably check with my financial advisor to see if it makes sense to do a 1031 exchange, start the depreciation schedule over again. So for me, I focus so much on acquiring that I see, liquidating and moving up pretty, kind of far down the road.
For sure.
Along the way, I did sell 2 condos that we had. So we sold the condos and we rolled that money into multis for a better cash on cash return. That's how I love to analyze my deals, is cash on cash, because it's the same way any other investment calculates it. It's really amazing. Plus, it's not just the cash on cash that you're earning, it's property appreciation, principal pay down, and the tax benefits. So I see the cash on cash as a great way to start looking at the numbers, but also remembering that with real estate, here's your return on other investments, and here's your return that might match it or out earn it a little bit on the real estate side. But then you have all these other things working for you under the surface of the water. I like to think of it as an iceberg, right? Yeah. So just the tip sticking out the top, and all the really awesome stuff is working for you down below.
Yeah. And you mentioned how you take a look at a deal. Do you want to maybe just share for the people watching, what usually catches your attention with deals and how you work through it at that point?
Yeah. I am constantly watching the market, and we have a really amazing tool called the Real Estate Freedom Deal Analyzer. And it takes a ton of factors into account to help you understand the bigger picture of how a particular property might work for you. It includes, the financing costs, closing costs, income, expenses, how you could invest your money in another way. It gives you an opportunity to compare the returns. So that's a really powerful tool. That being said, our team runs on every single deal that comes through. However, I do also like just using the 1% rule as a very easy initial way to look at the property to see if it might make sense.
Yeah. If somebody doesn't know what the 1% rule is, what's the 1% rule?
Yeah. So the 1% rule is looking at the purchase price of a property and looking to see that what you could earn in rent on a monthly basis is around 1% of the purchase price.
Yeah. And depending on your market, that may be attainable, and sometimes in some markets it's there's no way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, with your real estate investing and your business, how has real estate changed your life so far?
That is an amazing question, and I'm going to try not to cry over here.
Okay. I'll get some Kleenex.
No tears today. No tears.
Okay.
But for real, if I hadn't if I hadn't discovered the power of real estate, I would still be, working in a 9 to 5 job, probably doing something that I didn't really love. I'd, who knows, maybe I'd still be living in that condo.
With the moat.
The moat was cool, but a very different living experience from where my kids and I get to enjoy now. I have time freedom, which is really powerful and helpful with the kids. I love to travel, and so having the ability to do that. Yeah, real estate has completely changed my life. I had been working for a long time as a mortgage lender. I started in 2008 and ended doing that about 8 years later. But there was one position that I held as a mortgage lender, and my values were not in alignment with the folks that I was working with, and it made me physically ill. And so just having the ability to live my life and do business in a way that feels ethical and feels like I'm able to give back, not only with the company, but also by offering quality housing units. It's a win-win-win all the way around. And not only do I have all that, those amazing blessings, but I also have, a retirement plan well on its way. I'm not super worried about sending my kids to school in 14 years because there's this portfolio building wealth every single day for us.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself in 5 years with real estate?
In 5 years, I'd love to have done a couple flips. I'm super excited about getting some tiny houses on my land here and maybe Airbnb-ing them out. That's one thing that I love about real estate, is that as long as you're following the laws, the sky's really the limit. Like, there are so many ways to slice and dice and be creative, and I love that about real estate. I'd love for, our team to be impacting other people's lives even more than we already are. And personally, I'm really excited to start a speaking career where I travel the globe and inspire the crap out of people.
That's awesome. So have you started speaking yet, or is this something you're going to start?
I have done some speaking locally. I haven't traveled yet for speaking opportunities, but I just, if there's one thing that I feel like I was here on this earth to do in this lifetime, is to inspire other people to live outside the box and, live in alignment with their values and believe in themselves and go do the shit that only they can do.
Yeah. No, so once you've done a flip, and then once you've gotten famous speaking around the world, we'll have you back on.
Love it. I can't wait.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Ashley, if somebody's looking for some more information about you or what you're doing, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can shoot me an email. My email is ashley@ashleystg.com. Our realty group is called the Real Estate Freedom Realty Group at Preferred Properties. And my phone number is 802-318-7654.
That's awesome. Ashley, just want to say thanks so much for taking the time today to share your real estate success.
Thanks so much, Seth. It was a blast.
Yeah, it was great. And to you, our viewers, I wish you well in your journey from purchase to profits. See you next time.